Welcome to Inside the Skev, and I'm your host, Aaron Masliansky. Today, we are here with Kevin Francis, and Kevin is the founder and runs the Jahbat soccer program that is in the Chicagoland area here, and specifically in Evanston, where my son plays, and it's a great league. And Kevin, thanks so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I'm curious to know what is Jahbat. If you could tell the audience about it, what's different about it?
Most asked questions about Jahbat is actually the name itself, and so I like to always start off by kind of giving a backdrop on the name itself. So Jahbat is it's an acronym, and basically it stands for Jamaica, Americas, North and South America, and all the Americas, Haiti, and Belize, and Africa, Asia, and Trinidad, and those are the countries and the regions that we use in the name, because when I came from Jamaica here and went to Evanston High School, that's where all the kids that I hang out with and played soccer with were from originally, so that's where the name came about, so the acronym itself. But for us, Jahbat it represent what we try to do with Jahbat is be that program that's not like any other program around, where it's an inclusive program, and
Sure.
It's diverse in its nature, and it teaches and create an atmosphere for kids to develop love playing soccer like we do when we were growing up in various countries, regardless of your social status, your financial background, and stuff like that. It's a beautiful game,
Yeah.
and we want to make sure kids are playing at a club level where they could afford to do that.
So, how old are the kids that are playing in the league?
So we have kids as young as 5 to 18, because we go all the way to high school level. So we have a U19 boys teams and U19 girls teams, so the kids are as old as that.
And so it's a travel league, so you play against a lot of other programs?
So it's travel, similar to any of the other big travel clubs like the Chicago Fire or any of the other clubs that people typically recognize as travel program. We're the same level. We play at the same leagues, play in the same divisions. We travel just as much as they do. We practice as much as they do, sometimes more, but just with a different feel to it.
Yeah. And, so travel leagues, basically it's where you have, it's a competitive league, right. And are there standings and everything else, like where people know what the rankings are and whatnot?
Yeah, there is. Some of my coaches, they do a better job of following the standings and the rankings than I do, especially my younger coaches, because they want to see where their teams are ranked.
Sure.
We have teams ranked as high as 6th in the state, at one point actually 3rd in the state a couple years ago, and they're ranked nationally as well. So depending on the leagues that you're playing in, all the leagues that we play, those records is kept in a database and throughout the country, and the tournaments that we play into, those wins and losses and ties are kept in a database, and then they rank the teams throughout the country and regional as well in the state throughout. And most of those you can find like in God Soccer. It's one of the platform you can find the rankings on. And but yeah, it's typically my younger coaches, they're more gung-ho about that kind of stuff.
They want to make sure they're winning.
They want to make sure that those stats and rankings are there. Yeah. And the more tournaments you play, the higher chance you have of getting a higher ranking. Some clubs teams play at tournaments that has offer rankings, but it's not as competitive, so they could boost their ranking.
Okay.
And stuff like that. But yeah, the rankings are all there. Anybody could go to God Soccer and take a look.
So do people play in the leagues, if, let's say, like a high school student, will they play like at ETHS and in Jahbat, or? Yeah,
so at the after 8th grade, basically the boys in the state of Illinois plays club soccer in the spring,
Okay.
And they play high school soccer for Evanston High School typically in the fall.
Okay.
And the girls are the opposite. So, for instance, right now we're currently in tryout. We had our first tryout for high school boys yesterday. We have another one coming next Tuesday at 5 o'clock at Evanston High School. So the high school boys will come out and try it at that time, and then we'll start practicing outdoors as soon as those guys are finished with the high school season, and then we move into indoors where we practice and play, and we have a outdoor season starting in the spring.
Okay. And Jahbat is not the only league in Evanston, right? There's also Team Evanston.
Yeah, there's Team Evanston, which I was a member of Team Evanston for a while. So
Yeah.
I was one of the original professional coaches at Team Evanston as well. I started as a trainer there. That's when they had parent coaches at the time. There was not any professional coaches when I started.
And they all play in the same league and everything.
Same league, yeah.
Okay. So you have a long history with soccer, don't you?
I do. It's my love and my passion. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been playing soccer since I was, as long as I can remember. I mean, I grew up in Jamaica where soccer was one of maybe that, if not the primary sport at the time when I was growing up that we played along with cricket. But soccer was, that sport that you get out of school and at recess, and we wear uniforms in Jamaica, which is a khaki uniform, and sometimes you have one pair of dress shoes to go to school, and we would take our shoes off because we don't want to destroy the shoes because our mom would not be happy about it, and we go to the fields and we play, and we make our own soccer balls from time to time because we didn't have soccer balls, and so I've been doing that since as long as I can remember. Pick up soccer in the street. Sometimes you have to move the goals out the way when the cars are coming and put them back in play. So we've been doing it for since I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
When did you come to Evanston?
So I migrated to Evanston in 1987
Okay.
from Jamaica. Yeah, and that in itself was a culture shift.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah,
Huge
temperature shift.
That too. In fact, when I came, we had one of the worst winter that year when I came from Jamaica. So, coming from a warm climate country where it's always 80 plus degrees, and landing to Evanston and having one of the worst winter in a long time, and during that, getting that, I had to be dressed up in those warm jackets and stuff like that, and just adjusting to the culture and the environment and the weather and all that stuff was.
Why'd you come to Evanston?
My mom migrated a year before I did.
Okay.
She got remarried and she moved. Her husband was in Evanston, and so she moved there as well. And a year later, we came. My brother and I came to Evanston to get the family back together, and that's what happened.
And then you played pretty well at Evanston High School, huh?
Yeah, I was actually surprised they had a high school team. I didn't know that they play soccer in the States. I wasn't aware of anything about the United States. And to be honest with you, when I came here, I was playing soccer. I came right after. When I got registered, we initially lived in that Rogers Park area, right, of Howard Street. And I think at a year, the school system in Chicago was on strike. So we were in the process of moving to Evanston, so we had to wait until we moved to Evanston so we could go to Evanston High School.
Yeah.
And when I got there, the school season already started. As far as the high school kids already they had their tryouts already, and they started playing and practicing and stuff like that. So when I came, that was already completed. So I was playing in gym class, and one of the teachers saw me. One of the gym coach saw me, and he's like, "You're pretty good. Why you're not playing on the team?" And I'm like, "What team?" And so I was already past the tryout stage at that point, and then the following year I decided to go ahead and try it out. Yeah.
You're the ringer.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then you've continued to play even past high school in semi-pro leagues.
Yeah. So getting out of high school, I think the goal was to actually play in college, and so I had some college opportunity to play, but it wasn't what I really wanted, and I thought I was a better player than maybe a D2 or D3 school. I want to be D1 or play professional, and that was my ambition at the time. So, and then I had some opportunity to go to do academic scholarship as well coming out of high school. And those both opportunities was, even though they were there were great opportunity at the time financially. I couldn't afford that second half of that college tuition, so I forego both opportunity to go either for soccer or academic, and I decided to go out and work a little bit, and I did that. And while I was doing that, I was traveling back and forth to Jamaica, playing in a club in Jamaica, and being compensated with a job really, and not doing much, but that was my love, and I wanted to play at a high level, so that was my route because that's what I knew. And then got back to the States and playing in some semi-pro leagues, and getting it's not bad when you get anywhere from $50 to $200 a game on a weekend as a young kid.
To play cool. What you love to do. Yeah.
So we did that and got injured and tore my ACL in my right knee, and then after that I took some time off and then started working. I had to get back to the full-time gig and work a job and.
Real life.
Yeah, real life kicks in. And then I continued playing after I got my knee surgery, and I still play today. If you love the sport enough, which most of my friends and my family and hopefully the kids in Jahbat too.
Yeah.
You're gonna find every chance you get to play, you want to play. And so even though that was a setback, there's no doubt in my mind that I was going to continue playing. The sport is great.
Yeah. It is, and it's. I mean, do you see it picking up a lot more in the United States than what you saw when you first moved here? Because I remember growing up as a kid, soccer was not the main sport. People wanted to play basketball, football, baseball, and soccer was kind of lower on the totem pole. And now I feel like all the kids are playing soccer. And it just, when the World Cup is going on, people are really into it. So do you see a change in the U.S.? Because I know in the rest of the world it's been, most popular sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think as the irony, I think, with U.S. soccer for me, as my view, is I think as the U.S. teams do better, there tend to be more attention to the sport. I think as we struggle with it, like on the men's side especially, it doesn't seem like there's enough love. But the sport's been growing quite a bit, and especially on the youth level. We might have probably the biggest youth program in the world.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we have more kids playing. I mean, we're a big country as well. So,
sure.
So just by sheer number, we have a lot of kids playing soccer in the States. I think the size of the country holds us back a little bit, just because there's not as much corporate sponsors in the youth program and the younger level to develop players as well. And not even from a scouting standpoint, I don't think we have enough of that, like baseball or basketball. I don't think soccer in the United States generates as much money as other countries do. And the younger level. But I think in the United States, we spend more money into soccer than more countries does. I mean, for instance, most countries are not paying to play soccer at youth level.
No, they're just playing after school,
exactly
barefoot,
yeah,
like you were talking about.
Like barefoot and knocked out toenails and destroyed shoes and all that good stuff.
Yeah. I also think it's possible that there will be more people playing soccer and getting into it because of all the fear of head injuries in football.
Well, I mean, I think that soccer is not. I don't think soccer is one of those sports that you get a lot of. I've been coaching for 30 years, and I've had 2 kids in 30 years had concussion. Neither one of them was from hitting the soccer ball. One happened where a kid got undercut and he fell and hit his head on the turf, and the other one was a girl. Goalie got upset that she got scored on, so she, out of disgust, punted the ball in the back of her center back's head by accident.
Oh God!
Those are only 2 I've seen. I think the problem is the technique, and if you learn the technique at a young age, you don't have that problem. I think the way they've gone about holding back kids and not allowing them to head the ball at a young age, that could be more disservice to heading the ball and maybe cause more problems going forward. But
sure,
it's not like it doesn't have the contact as hockey or even football to warrant the concern that we have. I don't think, at least in my experience.
Right, and it's a great exercise for them too.
It is. It's a semi-contact sport, but doesn't. Most of it's rare that you have concussion. Heading the ball, I've never hurt myself heading the ball, and I got a small head.
Strong one.
Yeah.
So the league though is in Evanston here, but it's also in Naperville. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we I currently live in Naperville. So for me, it was trying to appease my wife at one point, trying to start something closer to home where I could coach there. But we decided to branch out in Naperville, and we were in Bentonville for the last couple of years, and trying to bring our brand of soccer to that area as well.
Yeah, has it grown? Is it as big as it is here in Evanston?
No, it's not. It's not as much. We're really small on that side. We have about 3 additional teams outside of Evanston.
Okay.
So Evanston is where the bulk of the teams are, and we're trying to grow the Naperville side, but it's nowhere close to where Evanston is right now. Yeah. I'm an Evanstonian. Even though I live in Naperville, this is where my heart is.
Sure.
We're hoping to maybe migrate back here sometime soon, but
make it easier for you.
But Evanston is where my heart is, and I went to Evanston High School, so for me is one of my goals is to try to get when I coach at Team Evanston, and we have a lot of Jahbat coaches or ex-players or players at the time coaching Team Evanston. We were able to cultivate some really good players, and I think one of the reasons we had such great success is because the kids that we coach feel or passionate, see their love for the game, and we were not coaching just for monetary means. It wasn't just because it was a job or we get paid to do it. It's because we actually want to see these kids grow and love, and we want to see them develop and go to high school and play and have a great high school career. So
sure.
That passion, they recognize that, and I think with the Team Evanston program, some of that attribute was lacking because of the way they went about it and bringing new coaches in. That's not necessarily from Evanston itself. And what Jahbat has done is actually bringing back ex-Evanston players that I coached when I was at Team Evanston and when I played for Jahbat as well, and bring those guys back in as younger coaches and have those guys bring that energy that we had when I was coaching as a younger age and trying to impact these kids. And we have done a good job doing it, and we have a good result from it. I
think so. I mean, I see even just for my son when he started, it's, I played basketball as a kid, and there are times when you're practicing and it's hard and you don't want to do it, and, you don't understand necessarily why, but you push through it and you learn how to discipline yourself and continue to practice, and you get better. And it's so cool to see him and all his teammates get better and improve, and you gain that sense of confidence, and I think that it's a life skill.
Well, soccer is like any. I mean, confidence is great importance in any aspect of life. Really, if you have confidence in anything, you're gonna enjoy and love doing it. Soccer is one of those sports that once a kid's able to develop those skill set that they need to play the game and have a success, their confidence grow. But in any other sport, and even at the younger age, the techniques that soccer requires is much tougher than other sports. Other sports has a little bit more instant reward, like basketball, and right. Every player make a basketball hoop. But what we try to do is to kind of cultivate a love for the game, and even when kids are not having early success, is to make sure that they're still loving the game. So when they do start having that success, the confidence grows as well as with that success, and developing the skills is one of the biggest attributes. And once you get those skills, you really don't lose them. They might get rusty, and you have to, polish them off a little bit. But once you get those skills, they stay with you for a while, and you love to play the game. It's a great game.
It is a great game. Yeah. And the coaches, you said you get them from people who used to play in the program or played for Evanston High School and whatnot? Yeah,
so most of my coaches, what we try to, coaches are very very important. I mean, so one of my hardest jobs is to really find the right coach with the right temperament, the right personality to match for the teams that they coach. And so I'm very careful and I'm very protective of my players, because I want my players to feel that it's their program, and I want them to have the love that I love the game. So last thing I want to put coaches with a player, with a team that, cause those kids or players to lose the love of the game because of the coach and the coaching style. So for me, it was to find coaches that I either played with or coached at a younger age, to bring those guys back in the program, understanding that those guys love the game like I do and understand my philosophy because they played for me at some point or play with me and I understand and bring those guys back. And what we've done is we've slowly bring our coaches back in. Once they get, they usually start as trainers and they work alongside myself and or Vinton, one of my other coaches, and get a feel and just reemerge into the concept and the style and the philosophy of what we try to do, and it's almost like an apprenticeship program for them. And once they kind of get a sense of it, then during that time, I get to see them work with the kids and evaluate them and see what their temperaments are. And some coaches really is gung-ho and wants to win every game, and we want to make sure they understand about player development first. And then once I figure that coach out, then I figure what teams to put them with. So it's very important for me to make sure not only I'm bringing in capable coaches, but coaches that understand the importance of making sure the kids are, getting the love.
Well, we've had Coach Hosier, and he's been so nice and motivating and understanding, and it's really nice to see that. Yeah. And the kids, I think, really respond to that.
Yeah, Ozer's a great coach. He's very passionate too as well. But I think Ozer, I've known Ozer before he started coaching for Jahbat. We played together as players, so I know what he's about and who he is. So. Yeah. When he
was my neighbor at one point, actually.
Right?
It's so funny.
So when he started coaching for us, it was my pleasure to have him as a coach and participate in our program and helping develop those and those kids. And he brings a lot to the table, and he's a good organizer and stuff like that. It's one of the take a little bit of pressure off the team parent aspect of the deal, and he does a good job with the kids that he worked with.
He does.
Yeah.
And practices, we're recording this in October right now, and it's getting darker every day. Yeah. One of the things that you're trying to do is get some lights to light up the practice field, right?
Yeah. We right now, obviously it gets dark about 6:30, and this is the curse of living in the Midwest. With the time change. But no, so we're, as it gets darker, I think as a program, one of my pet peeve is, and one of my always concern is not just the kids themselves as far as burnout, because you have to, one of the things we emphasize in our program is not having player burnout. But it's not just the players, it's a parent burnout. And so we know that, we understand a lot of our parents has to work, and not every parent has the same situation. So we want our parents to be able to get those kids to practice and on time and stuff like that. So one of the quick fix to the light is to move the practices earlier, but doesn't necessarily work for all my parents. And we like to keep our practice at a time at 6 o'clock if possible. Start time throughout the year. And so we figure, since Evanston High School, those fields are not lit. The best approach is to figure out to get some lights, some portable lights out there, so we could keep the practice at the later time where most of my parents could easily, not anxiously getting off work and get those kids to the practice fields and not getting stressed out and which sometimes affect the kids as well. And we don't want our kids to show them to practice late because the parents get off work a little bit later and can't make it there in time, and those kids are stressed out, getting to practice, worrying about what the coach is going to say. Sure. Are they going to be punished because they're a little bit late? So getting the lights is essential for us to kind of keep the practice where it's manageable for all our parents.
How much money are you trying to raise for those lights?
So we're trying to raise $30,000. That was our goal. We started this campaign, and we've not gotten far, but it's getting there. We got some traction, and we have a few fundraisers that we have. One couple that we're about to launch. One of the fundraisers we have right now is Amazon Smile, and the way that works is basically you go to Amazon and there's a drop-down button, and you can click on it, and it will show Jahbat as a non-for-profit organization that.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, every purchase that you make, a small percentage will go to Jahbat. And then we have a couple other ones that we're looking into that is going to be similar, where you could go to Whole Foods or I think Whole Foods is the one that we looked at. Whole Foods that will give us about 3% of any purchase from Whole Foods will go back to Jahbat.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then we have obviously the donation button on the website and stuff of that nature.
What is the website address, by the way?
It's Jahbat, JAHBAT FC.org.
Okay.
JahbatFootballClub.org.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, and if you can get those lights, I mean, helping it, making it consistent would be. You can't do anything about the temperature.
No, we haven't figured that part out yet. Yeah, that's the next goal, I guess, to get somewhat into a building. If that'd be great, but right now the lights is our first.
Do you guys ever use the quad?
We do. We use a quad, but
and by the way, for people listening, the quad is an indoor facility in Evanston. It's pretty amazing.
It is. It's a godsend, to be honest with you, because at one point I could not get more than 5 teams to play indoor soccer because we were traveling to Melrose Park and Palatine, and the travel during the wintertime was a little bit far. Highland Park to get games in, and obviously most parents probably doesn't want to travel during the winter,
sure,
because of just this, the weather itself. And when the dome came about, we signed up 20 teams the first year.
Wow.
Yeah, we had 20 indoor teams playing. So, for us, it's important that it's there. We like the fact that it's there because we get more of our kids playing in the winter sessions when we want to make sure they're able to touch the ball during the winter time during those months.
Yeah, because then you don't want to get rusty, like you were saying.
But the cost to use the indoor facility is pretty expensive, and there's a lot of demand on that facility as well. So it costs us anywhere, I think, somewhere around $300 for a quarter field, a very small space for an hour.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty expensive.
Pretty
Especially
pricey.
If you want to do a full field, that's
Right.
going to be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's $1,200 for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's basically what we would need as a program, just to have one practice, and that would not even cover all the kids that we have, really, but we'll make it work typically when we get there. We've done it a few times in the past.
Yeah.
When we really want to get some practice in, and we need to, and that's the only space available.
Do you think that the new Robert Crown Center is going to have any function for Jahbat? I guess?
It will. So, as you know, we currently host a tournament in Wheeling, which is our start of our spring season. We're doing it for sort of 4 years so far. We've done the tournament, and we would like to bring a tournament to Evanston in maybe over the Memorial Day weekend in May. So the goal is to utilize those facilities. One of the reasons why we haven't done a tournament in Evanston is because we don't have the fields. We have fields, but they typically grass fields, and if the weather is bad during that time, the games will not be played. So. Right. Turf fields is essential, and I think the Robert Crown facility is going to have about 3 turf fields.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, so we get to utilize those fields to do the tournament and probably even some games as well. So we're not just dependent on Evanston High School with the one turf field that us, Team Evanston, Chicago Fire share to get the games in.
Is that's all those teams share those fields?
Yeah.
Wow.
The Chicago Fire, Northshore, which is the older version of Team Evanston, and their agreement, and Team Evanston and ourselves, we all use those fields.
It's busy.
Yeah, busy, and plus Evanston High School program, lacrosse, football.
Yeah, they've got everything going on.
Yeah.
And then they've got their own fields and whatnot.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
What do you see? What do you envision for the future of Jahbat?
So our goal, my goal at least for Jahbat is for that program to be the premier elite soccer program in this part of the world. We want this program to be for me and my kids, I love the kids wearing our Jahbat gear, and I want when a kid is wearing a Jahbat gear and swag, they feel proud and people recognize those colors and know that those players are going to be not only good citizens and great kids, but it's going to be fantastic soccer players, and they see Jahbat players and all these kids love the game, and we have that reputation pretty much in the Midwest with college coaches and stuff like that. But we want to be that program that kind of fill the gap between the academy programs, quote unquote, and the feeder program. We want to make sure that when our kids leave Jahbat and play elsewhere, they're able to demonstrate the quality of their soccer development. And so we want to be that program to kind of bring that to the forefront. We want to make sure that, one of the things with soccer in the United States is that most soccer programs lack technical skills in the United States because these kids are not playing soccer.
They're not practicing all those skills?
All those skills every day. It's not like, take for instance Brazil. Brazil probably in every club, professional club in the world, there's probably at least 3 soccer players from Brazil on that team. And those guys are pretty skillful as well. One of the struggles of United States soccer, what they struggle with is developing technical skills. And so Jahbat players, that's what we gear. That's what we love to do. And so we want to make sure that as we grow as a program and people who see Jahbat players or hear about Jahbat players, they right off the bat know that these guys have that kind of Brazilian flair. So it's not just to create a program where the kids are loving the sport and developing well, but it's bringing quality as well to the pitch when they get there. And, so that's our goal.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah.
And it makes the whole sport better.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. And we played, I bring up Brazil quite a bit because growing up in Jamaica as a kid, you look at when you're watching the World Cup and you're looking at the big stage, Brazil was the only country that reflects, our background. It's the only, subpar African reflected country. It's majority, black players in Brazil at the time. So as Jamaicans and Caribbeans, we see that country and we recognize it. And so our love for the game and the style of play was influenced by the Brazilians.
Okay.
So
were there a lot of Brazilian coaches that came to Jamaica or the Caribbean? And
no, there was not. The one time Jamaica went to the World Cup was by a Brazilian coach, though.
Oh, okay.
So the one time we went to the World Cup and qualified for the World Cup was a Brazilian coach that brought us there. But it's just the fact that those people, when we look on the bigger stage, that's what we see as what looks like us, and it was a Brazilian always represent, and so. We gravitate to that style of play, and that's one thing we want to bring is that love, that just natural, instinctive feel for the game, and Jahbat is trying to, that's what we want to bring to these kids in Evanston, even though these kids are not at the field 5-6 days a week.
Yeah. They're there quite a bit.
They're there quite a bit. They're there probably about 5 days a week.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. So it's 3 days practice, and sometimes some kids play 2 games on a weekend. It's about 5 days a week. But, yeah, we're trying to bring that love and that
Well,
flair.
you kind of need that. If you're going to get really good at something, then you've got to be constantly playing.
Yeah.
And it sharpens your skills.
Yeah, the game itself, it's beautiful, and it's beautiful to watch, and in order for you to kind of play that beautiful game, you really have to touch the ball a lot. You look at in basketball in the United States, for instance. Most of those guys that play basketball in NCAA or in the NBA, they're at the streets, they're at the park, day in and day out on their own playing. And soccer in the United States doesn't lend for that pretty much because we're so big. And so Jahbat wants to kind of bring that kind of feel like the Brazil or Jamaica, the third world countries, where soccer in those countries is a third world or it's
a poor man's game.
Yeah. In those countries, so
because you don't need much.
No,
you could
just
you're
get a
barefoot
ball.
and a ball.
Yeah, just a ball, and you could go juggle and play, and so we see that a lot in those countries, and those kids tend to be more advanced with their skills because they're doing it every day. And so we want to kind of bring that feel not to the club that we have, and create an atmosphere where these kids are loving to play and enjoy the play and don't feel that this rigid environment and overly structured environment where they feel like they're just having fun.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun playing the game, you're not gonna stick with it long enough to develop the skills you need to play.
Right. You got to love it.
You gotta love it.
Yeah. And if people want to sign their kids up, be part of it, when are tryouts and how do people go about doing that?
So tryouts are ongoing.
Okay.
It never stops. It's just a revolving thing. Typically, we have tryouts. The primary tryouts are typically at the start of the spring season, but our big tryouts is in May, after the spring season is completed, and it's usually the last week of May, first week of June.
Okay.
That's when our tryouts typically are. But we've always had kids that comes to miss tryouts initially, and they will come to in practice tryouts, and they would try it with the team at their age group and kind of get a feel for the program itself. One thing we like for our kids to do is when they come to a practice tryout is to kind of get a feel and see if they like the atmosphere and their jive with the coaches that they're working with or possible will work with. And so we always have open tryouts in all year round. In wintertime, it happens. We have tryouts. I'm having a kid coming today for a tryout.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does everybody make the team?
At the younger age, everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody does. We've only recently looked to, we've just created another program that we call Next Level. And so what we've done is that the kids that, because of this, I think sometimes kids want to play soccer at a high level that we have and don't really understand what it takes. And so they want to get away from the team, the AYSO level program, and they want to start something more of a travel team, and they get there and they realize it's pretty competitive. And so what we have done, we've created a program for the kids that's not necessarily ready for the travel part of soccer is to kind of train.
Okay.
And so we created a program called Next Level where those kids that they're not cut from the entire program, but they're not on a travel team, they will become a part of the Next Level program where they could train and get slowly acclimated into that competitive.
So then they can get up to that
correct.
next level.
And then once they, it could take them a season really. And once they get to that, comfort level and is confident about, being a part of the travel team, then we'll move them into the program and get them going. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, everyone gets to learn, and it's good vibes all around.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. If the kids our program is all about the kids.
Yeah.
And so
you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't want to help them and everything.
Kids are great.
Yeah.
Kids are great. I have 4 of my own, and I have 2 grandkids, and my granddaughter. I can't wait for her to start playing.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So all my kids played, and my son played in college, and my daughter chose not to, and my other son chose not to because he ran track, and my daughter was academic, and she's she wanted to focus on academics in college, so she chose not to play in college. But, all my kids play, and I played, and I want to make sure other kids that want to play is able to play.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, this is great to have you on. So fortunate to hear the story of Jahbat, and really appreciate what you do, and thank you for having this program.
Well, you're welcome, and it's my pleasure. And I think I don't think if I said this before, but one of the reasons why we wanted to start this program is because when I came from Jamaica and I wanted to play soccer, there was not a program of this ilk that you could be a part of. It was so hard to get around, and so my goal is to make sure that kids that want to play the game, and regardless where their background is, and able to play, because it's a game that we love. So we started a program for that purpose, and based on our experience and the love for the game, we want to make sure there's kids, regardless where you're at and what where your background is, you're able to play. And so we created this program for that, and so it's my pleasure paying it forward.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for listening, and please subscribe. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of Inside the Skev. I hope you enjoyed it. Just remember to subscribe, and if you need any assistance for your real estate needs in the Chicagoland area, or specifically Skokie, Evanston, or Skevinston, feel free to reach out to me. I am a realtor at Dreamtown Realty in Evanston. You can email me at aaron@skevinston.com or go to my website, aaronmasliansky.com. Thanks so much for listening.